Hello, this is David Geckel from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Leeds United fan. And we're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving. And you're listening to the DU Football Show.
You tried your best, but you stayed up.
That was a hell of a day for them.
And you know what? We're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving, too. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, doing his best kid in play, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Relishing in my position at the moment.
He was really tall. Well, I mean, relishing in your position of being directly behind Spurs. Yeah, it's a great position to be in.
I don't know about that. It's better than being, scraping by the hairs on my chinny chin chin.
We fucking survived. It's all that matters. Don't care. Season never happened. Let's move on. No, it's very, very relieved. Very, very relieved.
Obvi.
And we're going to rebuild and become anew and just go ahead and call it now. Leicester barely survived staying up. The next season, they won the league. By that rule, Everton's winning the league next year. So that's how it's going.
Okay.
5,000 to 1. Putting the money in right now. It's going to happen.
Okay.
It's not going to fucking happen.
I know that.
We will be... mid-table mediocrity would be welcome. We are probably going to be like a 12th or 13th place team next year.
Right.
Man, we got some rebuilding
But
to
9th
do.
through 11 is out of reach. It's either 8th, 12th, or 13th. That's it.
Yeah, heard. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. Make sure you join the closed group or request to join the closed group, Drunkard United FC. That's where we do most of the banter, share a lot of the memes, and do all that kind of fun stuff.
Very cool. And our boy, International Man of Mystery, well, there's two International Man of Mystery, but this is the original International Man of Mystery. Smokey has started us a Discord page.
Yep.
So that is also in the Drunkard United FC closed group. So we're going to start doing that too. And lots of...
I'll try to pin that post so everybody can get the link.
Excellent. I can do the same on the Twitter as well.
Actually, I don't know if I can do that. I'm not an admin anymore. Mel, can you pin that post, please?
I will pin that post. I do believe both of you have been kicked out of admin positions.
Yes, but I am the admin for the Discord. So if you piss me off, you're getting kicked out of that.
It's one simple rule. D-back. D-back. That's all it is.
I was making a hypothetical point.
Yeah.
And I used spaces to hide it, and the algorithm saw through it.
I told your brother he was a shit better, and I was told I was bullying him. Oh, that's
both of you. Both of you.
You actually were, but it's not. That's not. We don't all take it that way. It's just Facebook's algorithm takes it that way.
No, I specifically know the time that I bullied your brother, and it was at your bachelor party, calling him a cheap bastard and telling him to give you money to bet on.
I remember that.
Also, a few. I know we got a few new listeners this week. A few people that I know Mel has reached out and talked with.
I met a lovely group. An Everton fan, a Liverpool fan, and I can't remember the other dude that were on.
I think you told me it was Chelsea. Yep.
I think so.
To me, that sounds like a shite group, to be honest. An Everton fan, a Liverpool fan, and a Chelsea fan walk into a bar.
Met a Arsenal supporter with when I was at
that sounds like a stand-up guy.
Rice's birthday party, and Also, a QPR supporter too, as well last week. So a whole bunch of people.
I mistake Everton gal.
Everton gal, very good. So yeah, so some new people checking it out.
Honestly, all jokes aside, welcome.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Hope we don't chase you away very quickly with the amount of F-bombs we're about to drop
I
on
warned
everybody.
So coming with a disclaimer.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. The gin binge rolls on, Mr. Graham.
Yes, it does.
Let's talk about it. What we drinking?
Harrahorn Norwegian small
our hand
batch
throughout
gin.
this show
It comes
and
in at
every
92
single
proof.
show. The gin
for many
binge
centuries,
rolls
hunters and
on,
mountain
Mr.
men.
Graham.
Yes, it does.
Let's talk about
North
it. What we
American
drinking?
folklore, this creature is
Mm-hmm.
known
known
Norwegian
as the
small batch
jackalope.
gin. One of my favorite fictional creatures that exists because it's so fucking ridiculous. In Norway, it's known as the Harrahorn. It's delicious. It's always delicious. I love it. They use blueberries as one of their botanicals, which is
Yeah.
very good and different, although it doesn't overpower anything else. The juniper is kind of toned down for me.
Yeah.
It's not super intense, which is nice, as always, because biting into that Christmas tree is usually why people start to hate gin.
Right.
So these newer approachable gins are getting a lot of more people into the category.
Yeah, and gin's just great anyways.
Absolutely.
And it's finally a nice, like this weekend was hot as hell,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
a nice kind of crisp, nice day for a good G&T.
I was on that work trip,
Yeah.
drank Grey Whale the entire time.
Yeah, the boy.
Had a couple of beers here and there. It was Grey Whale gin.
It just gin all day.
Yeah, it was
And-
awesome.
And then we, of course, are using the standard Fever Tree Premium Tonic. Ice cold. Remember, whenever you're making your mixed drinks, make sure your mixer is cold. Also, don't be a cheapskate. Spend the extra money. Get a quality
Get a good tonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you used to sell this brand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did.
Do you
back in
remember
the day.
the shelf price for this one? Because I do not.
Normally a 4-pack would run you about like $5.99, $6.99.
Yeah, for Fever Tree?
Yeah.
I meant the gin.
Oh, the gin I didn't represent.
Oh, okay.
But $35.99 to $39.99.
Okay,
right in that
right in
range.
that sort of range. That's a lot of these craft gins are kind of in that realm,
Yeah, exactly.
which is where you want to live. 40 plus is starting to scare people off a bit.
Right. You want to 35 to 40. That's
Yeah.
the number. That's really the number. All right. And what else do we want to do, Mr. Graham?
Make sure you always drink responsibly, everybody.
I love it. So the Premier League found a way to. Oops, yeah, we should probably
Got it.
toast. Yeah, how about that?
don't
I
think
suck.
you
Here,
did.
I'll toast with you too, there, Mr. Graham.
I don't know that I want to include you.
Well,
I mean-
that toast certainly sounded like.
Graham and I were toasting, and we didn't really care about you.
No, got a little ahead of myself. It was a great fucking finale. I mean, God, what a fucking finish, you
It's
know?
a good weekend.
It's been a heart-pounding season already with a lot of different storylines and a lot of craziness going on. And honestly, you know, groups within the table being separated by points pretty much the whole season. And then also bad beat good all the time this season.
Yep.
Happened a lot.
It happened fairly frequently, yeah.
You look at a team like Everton that took points off of Arsenal, Chelsea, United. Didn't lose to Chelsea or United this year. Was draws and wins against both. You know,
Yep.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, and you look at some of the results like that Arsenal had the loss against you, that 3-game slide against Palace, Southampton, and Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
We get a couple of points or one win out of those 4 games, we're in a fucking Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so
That's
there was a lot of results. I mean, I'll make excuses for them all day long. Obviously, we have a very young team. Blah 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 blah. But if you look at some just a thing here or a thing there, the West Ham draw with Liverpool earlier in the year, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or they won 1, I think it was.
West Ham beat them. Yeah,
Oh, West Ham beat them is what
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
at
there's your
West Ham.
There's your Premier League title right there.
yeah. There it is.
That's
right
wild.
there. Right there.
Wild,
There's your title.
wild stuff.
The final week saw the title won in dramatic fashion. 2 rivals battle over Champions League, and a long-standing club save their Premier League run as 2 final sides battle it out on the last day. Everton 3, Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2, Southampton 1, Man City 3, Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 3, Wolverhampton 1, Tottenham 5, Norwich 0, Arsenal 5, Everton 1, Newcastle 2, Burnley 1, Leeds 2, Brentford 1. Sam, we are going to do this week completely different. As opposed to breaking it down game by game, We're going to do a timeline.
I'm
We're
in.
going to start with Thursday, and then when we get into Sunday, we're going to go goal by goal.
Sounds
Bounce
good to me.
around from game to game, because honestly, that's really the story unfolded literally within minutes as Sunday rolled on.
I'm in for that.
All right. So Tuesday, very simply, Liverpool take care of business against Southampton, even though they did go down 1-0. But they got the win. Good on Southampton for not getting completely destroyed.
I mean, Liverpool, honestly, in this game looked leggy. Again, it took them a while to get over the line, honestly, in that game. To their credit, Southampton did play their wee little hearts out.
But also what hurt them legitimately was then Salah gets hurt, Van Dijk gets hurt.
Yep.
And that really, really changed things for them.
Yes, it did.
And that we'll get into as we do Sunday. Thursday, Everton and Palace kick off 15 minutes earlier than Burnley and Villa. Feisty start between Everton and Crystal Palace, and Palace score their first in the 21st minute.
Yeah, Mateta, who we thought was going to be a bit of a better signing than he's proven to be so far after announcing himself onto the stage so quickly. With that, what was it, 2 goal performance? Or
him and Edouard both.
Edouard both did.
Both,
yeah, that's
both
right.
came on quick and then kind of
and scored, and then fell completely by the wayside.
Yeah.
As the season went on. But yeah, I mean, what a start for Crystal Palace here with Everton with their backs against the wall.
Yeah. Suddenly it's like, oh shit, because all Everton has to do is win, and they're safe.
Yep.
And then at that same time, right after that goal is when Burnley and Villa kick off. Not much going on over there, but in the 34th minute, Jordan Ayew gets away with a yellow with a hard tackle on Anthony Gordon.
That's a definite red card.
I mean,
I've never seen a more nailed-on red card than that. Besides Luke Ayling a couple weeks ago against Gabriel Martinelli.
A phrase that I think is going to forever be used. It did all the checklist.
Yeah.
Lunging at him, check. Scissor kick, check. Spikes up, check. General mean disposition, check. Talked about their mother, check. I mean, it was just, you look at the list of red card, you're like, yep, he did that, he did that.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was absolutely, that was a shocking challenge.
Tranmere.
Really, honestly, Anthony Gordon's lucky he didn't have his leg broken.
Yep. Tranmere supporter and now recently retired, old Dino, Mike Dean, was on the 1s and 2s at VAR, and nothing to see here. That card looks good. That's a yellow.
So if I could quickly jump ahead, his final match was Chelsea Watford, and just to finish up on the Dino points, briefly, obviously didn't look at this at VAR. Nope.
Oh, he did. He was the VAR guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he just told him, it's good.
Final game of the season, Chelsea Wolves or Chelsea Watford rather.
Chelsea
excuse
Watford.
Me. Not a single card.
Really?
You know who's on fucking Dubai time? Mike Dean.
Mike Dean, definitely. Well, I mean, I would say he's on all whites time for Tranmere because now he can go ahead and have his season ticket and go to matches.
This fucking guy. If as exciting as this final weekend was, the final 4 days was. All the people we expected, I don't know what's going to happen. They're already relegated. This is going down. This is happening. These people are doing this. All these other teams got this to play for, but not really because Tottenham's got Norwich. The one thing that we did not take into account was Mike Dean being on Dubai time himself.
Yes, exactly. Yes. None of us considered
not
that
a
into the
single
equation.
Fucking thing. Not a. He didn't come into this as a VAR, and he did nothing in the Chelsea Watford game at all.
I'm already taking my lap.
Finished.
I'm already doing my lap, everybody.
Yeah, fucking good for him.
And wouldn't you know it, because this is exactly how it always goes with the soccer gods. 36th minute. Who scores, Sam?
Jordan Ayew.
2-0 now. Palace up on Everton, and Everton are in a bad way.
Big time. For there to be squeaky bum time in the 36th minute, you know you're in a bad way. That's not good.
And then, of course, right at the end of the half for Villa Burnley, penalty called. Ashley Barnes steps up, nails it. Burnley now up 1-0. Everton now in real trouble, sitting just in front of Leeds.
Yeah, 100%. That was a very tense moment, obviously, in y'all's season. And I'm, but credit to your fans yet again for not becoming deflated, because I'm sure they would have been checking the scores on their phone.
Right at the half, Andres Gomez off, Dele Alli on, pushed Alex Iwobi up to midfield as opposed to a wingback and went to a 4, and it immediately created opportunity for Everton. You could tell right off the jump. You're like, oh, Everton ain't done yet. They've got some battle in them. And then, funny enough, they finally score in the 54th minute. Myelenko to Mason Holgate to big Michael Keane with his off foot in the upper 90s. The 3 defenders score. What the fuck?
The soccer gods just found, they just found some light to shine on you for a change.
I think the Gladys Street end literally just breathed the ball into the net.
Yeah.
Because and Keane even admitted after the fact, he was like, yeah, it was my off foot. I wasn't even thinking. I just shot right through it. It was like the outside of his left foot, and it just curved up and in. You're like, how the hell did that one happen?
Did I ever tell you my idea for a Nike advert?
No.
When they used to have most of the national team kits, it was coming up to World Cup time, and my Nike advert that I thought of that nobody else can take away from me, and I did poor man patent it, where I mailed it to myself from my mom's house to my dad's house, so that I had a timestamp on when it was sent.
There you go.
And then didn't open it, obviously, because it was still sealed. Anyway, the idea is that you have an empty stadium and a player. I thought preferably Zinedine Zidane at the time. This was before he headbutted someone.
Right.
And it would just be quiet. And you would just see him standing at midfield. And then the floodlights would come on, right? Mm-hmm. And then he'd close his eyes, and you'd see the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Mm-hmm. And then the lights would shut off because he closed his eyes. Everything would come back on. The stadium would be rocking. Both teams would be on the field, and it just says, think, don't feel. Or feel, don't think, rather.
Oh, very
Sorry,
cool.
Excuse me. And then game kicks off.
Oh, that is a good little commercial
fucking
idea.
decent, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Nobody cared.
Check you out, Mr. Marketing Man.
I know. It was awesome.
Pretty bloody fucking brilliant.
Right, but that's exactly it. Sometimes when you think, you can overthink, right?
Yep.
You just got to feel it.
And then right at that moment where Everton score, next thing you know, because again, they're a few minutes behind, so the 48th minute, Emi Buendia scores for Villa, making it 1-1.
I guarantee you Norwich celebrated this like he was still one of them. One of our players made a difference.
Hey, look at that.
Because our club sucks.
And at that point, all Leeds fans are now going, oh, fuck, because now Leeds is in the drop.
Yes.
And Burnley's out of the drop, and Everton are eking their way back in.
And the best part is this is on fucking Thursday.
Yeah, this is Thursday. Then in the 75th minute, Dele Alli with a ball in, gets to Ritchie, probably the ugliest goal ever. But it counts. 2-2 now.
Well,
Everton Palace, and it is on.
What was that FA Cup 4th round goal from one of the lower league teams this season? I think that may have been the ugliest goal ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was like put it in with his ass, falling backwards or some shit. It was terrible. This is a close second for sure.
Jordan Hughes wasn't very good either. It was like it hit his chin and then dribbled past 2 people falling over themselves to try to kick it away. Like I think Decore did like the swinging kick and fell on his ass kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's clearly now Everton's in control, and you can tell Palace is just trying to hold on. They've actually started to back it up a little bit. 79th minute.
I'm
sorry,
on for injury
84th minute. You get Wilfred Zaha puts his arm around Seamus Coleman, pulls him down at about 35 yards, right? Finally gets a yellow for that. Now, mind you, he did push a guy in the throat
earlier in the match.
as
Very
well.
yellow if he was still on the pitch to begin with.
Right. And with that, the other big substitute, Damari Gray for Anthony Gordon, because honestly, Gordon just didn't have it at all.
Well, after
match.
you're mowed down like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the first half, it's not a big surprise you didn't have it.
And also his
he also didn't start against Arsenal.
No,
Anthony Gordon.
Yep.
So I wonder if he was feeling that a bit.
So the Damari Gray steps up, puts in a perfect looping cross into the middle. Diving header, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, back of the fucking net. Everton are now up 3-2 in the 85th minute.
Pandemonium, I think, is probably a good word to use here.
Yes.
That was wild.
Quick disclaimer, we are going, as an entertainment show, we want to keep to the storyline, but we are doing a separate show tonight talking about the pitch invasions because we do think that it is a topic that has to be discussed.
Absolutely.
Because while there's great story of Frank jumping up and down and singing with fans,
there's a few pretty negative stories as well.
Some real fucked up things, and we definitely are going to talk about that, but we're not talking about it here. There will be another show. It is free to everybody. It will be put out.
Yes.
And we're going to video it tonight as well.
Absolutely. And if you, the other piece to that is most pitch invasions, just give you a heads up, we deem as negative things that happen, especially the ones that have been happening in England so far. There is a bright spot pitch invasion in Bulgaria, just for its comic relief, that I will be talking about in case you all aren't clued up on the, where was it? What I just said?
Bulgarian.
The Bulgarian First Division. It's quite fucking funny.
Now, at the same time, in the 80th minute, basically from about the 70th minute to the 90th minute, Nick Pope decided to stand on his head again. So as we are going to be discussing Burnley went down, guess whose fault it fucking wasn't?
Whose?
Nick Pope's.
Oh, no, absolutely
No
not.
way, no how. That man was keeping everything out. And then to make matters worse, unfortunately for Burnley, Matt Lawton gets subbed in. Matt Lawton quickly goes out on a red.
Well, when Manchester United buys Jordan Pickford this summer to be David De Gea's backup, Nick Pope will fit right in at Everton, I'm sure.
Perfect. We're already being linked to Tchaikovsky on a free.
Yeah, I bet.
It's already being
Let's
linked.
shore this defense up real fast, please. I think, you know who should be linked with him? Leeds.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. How many goals could you let in?
I know, my God.
But yeah, no, it's no surprise, honestly. Nick Pope has been one of the steadiest goalkeepers, despite Burnley's woes over the last few seasons, since they had that Europa League campaign. Nick Pope, I mean, even in the build-up to that, obviously, he has been their stalwart. I mean, it's the old cliche. We say it how many times a year. The dam will eventually break if it's under enough pressure.
Yeah.
And Burnley just, under Sean Dyche especially, had not really played in a way to alleviate pressure. They preferred to soak it up and play kind of route one counterattacking football, if you can call it football at times. I found it quite reductive, which is kind of why I'm glad they're down, to be honest. I got a bit bored of it. But Nick Pope has easily been their standout performer, and no other goalkeeper in the Premier League won more man of the matches than Nick Pope did.
Yep.
In Burnley's team, obviously.
7 additional minutes because of the pitch invasion of the Everton fans, and justifiably so. You had to get them off the pitch, and it added 7 minutes to the end of the match. Whistle blows. Everton are safe. Utter and complete pandemonium breaks out.
Yes.
All the fans are on the pitch. Singing Spirit of the Blues, Frank and Dominic, Calvert-Lewin and Richie, and all the players are hugging and dancing with the fans. And again, there's a lot of bullshit that happened as well, and we are going to get into it.
We just want to keep this show fun.
Yes.
Because it was a very fun day.
As they went to the desk at NBC, they asked Robbie Earl, he goes, Rebecca Lowe had said, you normally see this when someone wins a title. And Robbie Lowe goes, I've never seen this.
Robbie Earl,
yeah. Sorry.
Lowe is Rebecca.
Yeah, Robbie Earl. I said Robbie Earl and then Rebecca Lowe. Exactly. And Robbie Earl just went, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Ever. At that point, Everton decided to get really, really drunk, and I don't think they've sobered up yet.
No. Definitely not. We'll come on to that.
As to say, Richie had a little thought there for
Yes,
in
he
the middle of the
did.
night, right?
Yes, I was hoping you'd bring this up. Richarlison, who I'm sure was responsible and went home and, got in a second ice bath and then went to bed.
No.
No, of course he didn't. Richarlison at 2 a.m. decided to tweet Jamie Carragher, who had been obviously talking shit about Everton all season.
Yep. Being
a Liverpool legend, however, a boyhood Everton fan himself.
Right.
Didn't he in his testimonial take a penalty for Everton
I think
so
he
he
did.
could say he scored a goal for them
Yes.
at one point
Yes,
in his
he
life?
Did. He did.
Anyway, I don't begrudge him for that, by the way. I would take Tottenham's money in a fucking heartbeat if they told me I could play professional football.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Richarlison tweeted, "Wash your mouth out before you talk about me or Everton again." Also, I don't respect you. Poop emoji.
Remember, English, Richarlison's second language.
I love as he's typing, it's like, all right, I think I got this right.
No, wait. I don't respect you.
Yeah, also, I don't respect you. And I don't respect you,
And I
whatever
don't
it was.
respect you. How do I finish this?
Poop emoji. Yeah, get in.
You shit. You shit.
Fantastic. 2 a.m. Brilliant.
So Thursday ends.
You got a game in 2 days, son. What are you doing?
Everton are now safe.
Yes.
And it
Sunday
comes down
no
to
longer matters.
Yeah, and it comes down to Leeds and Burnley fighting for safety. Sunday, everything kicks off at the same time. Liverpool playing for the title, right? Chance to win it.
Yep, City and Liverpool both.
3 minutes in, Nieto scores for Wolves. How you doing? 1-0 Wolverhampton.
Fucking hell. You'd have thought Anfield got, like, literally deflated. I mean, it was bad.
I'm sure it was one collective, the fuck?
Yeah, no shit.
The fuck? Like, just like that. Going around the league now, 19th minute, Spurs score 1-0. They're up on Norwich, which certainly doesn't help you guys.
No, and I told you this last week in injury time, which you can find at patreon.com, by the way, / DU Football Show. I expected Norwich to come out, get their consolation goal, but be the first ones that scored.
Right.
To make it interesting and give Spurs a little nerves. But Spurs, obviously having world-class Harry Kane and Son, would easily come back in about a 7-minute span in the second half, win 5-1.
Right.
Right? No. That Norwich didn't even give a shit.
No, not one bit.
Just completely without a whimper again. Didn't even make it interesting for 10 minutes. Nothing.
No topics.
Nah.
No
They
topics.
don't have any topics.
No topics.
They haven't had topics in September.
Nope. And I bet you, as Mel likes to put it, Dean was probably on the sideline in short pants.
Yeah. Short pants.
She gives the appreciative nod. She was like, yeah, short pants.
Short pants.
19th minute, we go over to London, and Brentford and Gelhardt for Leeds scores, but it's under review.
Uh-oh.
And while it's under review, at the 20th minute, in Burnley, Callum Wilson gets a penalty kick. Newcastle is up 1-0 on Burnley, and at that same time, VAR, offsides, no goal for Leeds.
Yeah.
So
Basically, Leeds scored.
So Leeds is now
safe. Yep.
But God forbid Burnley scores a goal and evens it up, then they aren't safe. So
correct.
You're
There's
safe,
a lot
but
going on all of
just-
a sudden.
It's the producer Mel story. There's a lot going on everywhere.
It is fucking tense. It is fucking tense.
24th minute, boom, Mane scores, equalizes 1-1.
Finally,
Liverpool has a chance.
Liverpool get their heads out of their asses.
Mm-hmm. But then for them, then it became just a stalemate the rest of the first half.
Yeah, it did.
Like
Absolutely.
Liverpool was pushing, but Wolverhampton wasn't budging.
They weren't
That's for
budging.
damn
Yeah, no.
sure.
And again, I said this earlier. Liverpool looked leggy. I really do worry about them in the Champions League final.
Oh yeah,
But obviously we'll preview that later. But yeah, it's.
Then in the 27th minute, when it was the 24th minute, when it could have possibly have happened after a long VAR check, they got it right. They definitely got it right. Penalty awarded, handball on Alex Iwobi, Martinelli to take.
Excuse me, use his full name. Agent Iwobi.
Agent Iwobi, heard. Yes, looking out for you boys. Yes.
He's one of our own. He's one of our own. It's Alex Iwobi. He's one of our own.
And so they this is fucking insane. They score, and the thing you hear louder than the Arsenal cheers are Everton!
Yeah.
They never shine so brightly. They just got scored on, and the fans
They didn't give a
are
shit.
they're hammered. They are so
I know,
hammered.
But they ironically cheered a ton of ours, like 3 out of the 5.
They just
legit just did not care. They cheered this Gabriel Martinelli penalty. louder than they did y'all's consolation goal.
I
in
know.
This game.
It was
yeah.
fucking
it was
insane.
wild.
Yeah. And at this point, you guys are up 1-0. Spurs are up 1-0. So it's like, okay, well, there's still a chance. Maybe Norwich gets a goal. Maybe we got a chance here. Who knows? Also, I just want to make sure it's noted. I'm very appreciative of how very thorough VAR was on that. I remember a certain handball at Goodison Park by someone named Rodri that they went, nothing to see here, you lose. And if anything, this was more up the sleeve than Rodri's was. And the whole bit was it touched the very bottom part of his jersey, so it's not a handball. This one, it hit him all on the jersey part, but Iwobi's arm was out. So
Who
it was
knows?
rightfully,
Who knows anymore? Honestly,
VAR sees what it wants to see.
Yeah,
Eye in the sky only sees what it wants to see. 31st minute, very quickly, boom, Gunners are up 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody was on Dino time, it was Everton this weekend.
Oh, yes. Turn right around a minute later, back at Norwich, Kane scores, boom, 2-0 Tottenham.
I was at the Abbey by the time this happened, and the room deflated a little.
Yeah.
Because it was like, now there's really no shot.
Yeah.
That's it then. That's done and dusted. So Europa League it is.
Right. Norwich,
at that point. Yeah.
Norwich ain't getting it.
No, they may have gotten a goal. They ain't getting two.
No.
They definitely ain't getting three.
Nope. Not one
So that
bit.
was the moment that we knew it's Europa League for us.
And then here it is, the 37th minute. Mel, what does Matty Cash do?
Fuck.
Matty Cash makes it 1-0. City is down.
Weird header.
Uh-huh.
Weird header. City down 1-0. All of a sudden, at that point, though, with Liverpool only being 1-1, City still had the title.
Yep,
Despite
exactly.
the result.
I'm about to get to that, in
But
fact.
they're saying there's a chance.
They're saying there's a chance. And, of course, all of this is going, all the fans know, like,
Everybody's checking their phone.
Suddenly back to Anfield, and the stadium gets a little louder. Why? Because they just know Villa went up 1-0, right? And then I don't think Everton fans even noticed it because they were already going to get another pint at the concession stand for halftime. Donny van der Beek scores and makes it 2-1. So you guys as Arsenal fans are probably like, yeah, now we're going to go ahead and fuck it off because we just realized Spurs are up 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, what? And the defending for that was fucking atrocious. It literally is the definition of a Sunday stroll right down to the heart of our defense.
Yep.
Like, how does that happen?
So we get to halftime and we see City. At this point, City is winning the league. Spurs have Champions League and Leeds are staying up. But here's the thing. Those two, City winning the league and Leeds staying up, are contingent on the fact that the teams that are chasing them don't get something right. Because all you need at that point is Liverpool to score a goal and Liverpool's winning the title. Or Burnley to draw, make it an even match, and then Leeds is going down. So the last thing those two clubs don't want, they want it in their own hands, not in the hands of their opponents.
Of the others, exactly.
Now the second half starts. And we're going to kind of move away from Spurs and Arsenal because, frankly, very quickly, couple of goals from Arsenal in the 50 and 50, like 54th and 56th, and then a couple of quick goals from Spurs. I mean, it's done and dusted at this point. Yeah,
but I mean, after Arsenal scored those two goals, Everton, kind of took the Emirates over, and it sounded a bit like this. Just drowned us out completely, just having a grand old time. A grand old time for a grand old team down 4-1.
Are you saying it's good news for the Blues?
Fucking hell. And of course, with them being up 4-0 at Spurs, we really know that we're in the Europa League with a stamp. It was a lot like when we were playing Poker Stars last night, and I was beat, and then on the river, Dave caught 2 pair.
Yeah.
And then it was like, just a little fuck you in there.
Yeah. You already lost, but we just want to really let you know.
No chance of winning.
Really want to let you know it's over.
Yep.
So it's pretty clear it's going to be Europa for Arsenal, and it's going to be Champions League for Spurs. And unfortunately, St. Tottenham's Day does not happen for the fourth consecutive season, is it?
Fifth, I believe.
Ugh,
We have to
not
wait
good.
for another season.
That's Mark doesn't listen, so fuck him for not listening, but he did want me to slag you off, and that was the slip of the jab, was making you say
Thank
it
you.
hasn't happened.
That's fine. I got drunk just the same that day.
56 minute, Rafinha, penalty, Leeds at Brentford, goal. Leeds are now up 1-0, and Leeds are now completely in control of their own destiny.
Rafinha can sometimes be. He's an excellent player. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot as a footballer, but Rafinha can be a little bit sporadic at times and miss chances you think he should get. And this was one of the coolest penalties I've seen in a while to tuck this away. It was brilliant.
I mean,
The pressure in that situation, literally your club's Premier League fate on the line. And, and the way he slotted that home was fantastic.
this is pressure like having to take a penalty in a World Cup final or a
yeah, big
Europa
time.
final, or the championship play-in game goes to penalties. Like, that's what
The playoff final, yeah,
that's
100%.
This was one of those kind of penalties. Like, just, and there you go. They're up. 4 minutes later, Wilson scores again. Burnley is now down 2-0, and it looks like they're going down.
Yeah, and the away section at Brentford looked a lot like the away section at Arsenal at that point. And the Leeds fans were cheering and going a little nutso. Still a bit tense, though, because if Leeds did lose as well, no, they still would have been in.
Yeah.
Now, Burnley's got to come from 2-0 down, which
Right.
they very often don't do.
No, they do not. And then, in the 69th minute, two separate sides of the claret and blue score. Coutinho scores for Villa on a counterattack, and suddenly now it's deathly silent at the Etihad.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Because,
It's most of the time because it's a lot of corporate fans there.
well,
At one point-
at the end of the match, those corporate fans let their hair down. Woo, boy, did they.
At one point, they like panned around at halftime and showed some of the faces at in the stands at City, and I yelled out in the Abbey, "Oh look, it's all 7 actual Man City fans!" And that got a good laugh.
There we
It was
go.
pretty good. A lot more respect there than I get here.
No, you don't deserve much respect here. And at that point, Anfield hears that Villa is now up 2-0, and Anfield goes nuts.
They think they've won the league. At
They
this
start
Yeah.
chanting Stevie G songs and everything, like they're losing their
Love
mind.
that they get their hopes up.
Yep. At that same time, don't look now, Burnley aren't out of it. Cornet scores 2-1.
And Leeds realized their party lasted 9 minutes. Scared to death.
Oh my God.
Even though they were up, it's Leeds, and how many goals have they conceded? Right at this
Yeah.
point, they're still up, so they're still
yeah.
in. They're still safe right now.
And Brentford likes to score.
Correct, especially against teams that concede a fuckload of goals.
Mm-hmm. And then, Sam, Manchester City woke the fuck up. 67th minute, 78th minute, and 81st minute. Goal. Fucking City goes from down 2-0.
Worse, it was a 10-minute span, 76th, 78th.
Oh, sorry.
It was,
And-
which made it even worse.
Yeah.
We were like, oh fuck, we're at the Abbey going,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah. 3 quickly unanswered. City takes the lead, goes up 3-2. And how are things checking in over there at your match? At 3-2?
At 3-2, you've all had a bigger party than you were already having because you realized that Villa were probably not going to score back at City, and it sounded a lot like this. The same goddamn song over and fucking over again.
Down
now,
5-1, getting killed. Players don't care.
Because now Liverpool don't have the league title.
And in that time, kind of lost in all of it, Cano, a former Liverpool player, scores for Brentford. It's now 1-1 for them in Leeds.
And squeaky bum time gets real tense. This gets real tense. I mean, this is...
Because if Burnley can score 1, Leeds is going down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is... You got to piss like a racehorse at the Kentucky Derby kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a good situation to be in. Very, very nerve-wracking.
At Anfield, we switch back over. 84th minute, Mo Salah has been subbed in around the 70th. Scores, puts them up 2-1.
At that point, it was in vain.
Mm-hmm.
But 3-2 down, there's still a chance. I mean, Villa pushed them in the first half. Can they wake themselves up?
Can they get one?
Can they get one?
Then in the 89th, Robertson puts the game away, makes it 3-1. They're up on Wolves.
Now they've done their job. They got to hope for Villa to do theirs.
And unfortunately, Villa could not do it. Like
Stevie G slipped.
Well, and City just, I mean, it wasn't even like Villa didn't even have a chance in that moment. Not at all.
City dominated the rest of that. Not dominated, but they pretty much shut Villa down.
In the 94th minute, back to West London, Jack Harrison scores. Leeds go up 2-1.
And they, at that point, I'm sure, watching what was happening in the stadium, nobody would have been checking their phone to make sure that Burnley was still down. They would have been watching their club. And Jack Harrison, it was a deflected strike, but it was a good hit. He cranked that ball, and it just came off the studs of whoever it came off. I don't even remember who it was at this point. And rifled right into the bottom left corner of the goal, looking at the goal, of course. Right side for the goalkeeper. And just what a celebration. Jesse Marsh ended up on his ass. Everybody's hugging, flying, going nuts. The whole away end is bouncing. I would have loved to have been in there.
And as that goal happened, whistle blew at Burnley, 2-1 Newcastle, and it didn't matter. Burnley's fate was already sealed.
But that makes it more fun that it did.
Final whistles blow completely around the league. Pandemonium happens at City. Like I said, I guess the corporate fans like to get a little crazy because they're tearing down goalposts, and
that was wild. What the fuck are they doing?
They don't know how to celebrate. It's their corporate box seats. They don't know
what
what the hell
I
to
did
do.
think was funny. I'll mention it again on the Pitch Invasion show. But Kevin De Bruyne was covered by 4 stewards.
Mm-hmm.
They got through the kind of dome of stewards that was covering the tunnel, and as soon as they break through that line, the stewards break off, and Kevin De Bruyne comes out and he goes, "Yeah!" It was quite funny.
So it finishes. City win the league over Liverpool by 1 point. Spurs finish in 4th, but Arsenal's back in Europe. And Leeds leapfrog Burnley as the Clarets go down.
I've told you my feelings on Burnley going down.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine with me. Apologies to Brett.
Yeah.
But I was a bit bored of them anyway. Spurs, if you had offered me as an Arsenal fan at the beginning of the season to finish in 5th, guaranteed spot in the group stages of the Europa League, I'd snatch your fucking hand off.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah. You need to be, it's the next step.
Obviously, over the last 3 weeks where we've had chance after fucking chance after fucking chance to secure Champions League with this young team and a bigger budget for the summer and more money to spend.
Palace, Brighton, and what was the West Southampton.
Palace, Brighton, Southampton, those
and
three. You once in the middle.
Well, Newcastle.
You had 1 in 7.
Yeah.
And we lost to you. That was your only win in the 8 games back in February, whatever it was.
December.
Yeah.
But right at the finish line, there was those 3.
Yep.
Then there was Spurs, which was just take care of business against your rivals.
There was those 3.
And Newcastle.
But
those
then,
5.
But then what was it? Chelsea, United, and we got back into it because Spurs dropped some points around the same time, and they dropped their games in hand. But then we had Newcastle, and we had Spurs themselves, obviously, the game prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little bit of a disappointment in the air because what could have been. However, if you look at the overall picture, and Smokey was saying this about West Ham as well in their shortcomings, which we'll come on to, but there is an air of disappointment because it was there. It was in your hands. You had it. You had one hand on that, and you let it slip.
Yep.
Smokey's actually watching right now. He had some comments that Cornette is going to be out quick.
Yep.
There's a 17.5 million release clause.
I feel like so's Veghurst.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be out too, to be honest.
I don't know if Veghurst has a release clause, but
neither do
Cornette
I.
at 17 million.
But you know, part of the problem is too.
Any club that isn't top 6 would be stupid not to fucking sign him.
You know, part of the problem is too. Burnley have a ton of players out of contract.
Yeah.
They need to sell players to be able to buy players.
Yeah.
and replace just their squad in general, I think Burnley might be gone for 3 or 4 years easy.
Well, there's been talk of the Burnley and Leeds filing a lawsuit against Everton because of losses over COVID, of which the league has already said they're like, it was COVID. They actually kept all their employees. Yeah, there's going to be major losses. Some teams took the scheme money and let go of people and furloughed people.
Arsenal did that.
Everton didn't. Of course, there was going to be revenue
Liverpool
lost.
did that.
Yeah, of course there was going to be revenue loss. There was tons of revenue lost.
Yep.
And at that same time, they were amping up their community work even more. So,
But even still, there was tons of revenue loss across the league anyway.
Right.
Which is why they kind of temporarily suspended financial fair play.
But
Suspended, not suspended. That's not a word.
But for Burnley, they're going to be in a real bad way because yes, you got new ownership and you've got new money, but how are you going to make a team when pretty much your entire team is gone?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Gone.
I mean, they have 6, 7 players out of contract.
Tarkovsky is going to walk on a free.
Yep.
That
All
is
their
a
saleable
valuable
assets.
asset.
And that's, I told you, they should have sold him in January. And when they fired Sean Dyche, it just smacked of a team that was already prepared to go down. Except for they did it after the chance they had to get rid of people.
Yep.
They did it after the chance they had to financially secure themselves.
Yep, absolutely. And
So I feel like they might be gone for a long time.
I wouldn't be surprised as well, to be honest with you. I fear for them and what they're going to do overall as a program. I mean, the good news for an ownership group is that it is a completely clean slate, like completely clean slate. But the problem is you don't have time in professional football to have a completely clean slate.
Correct.
You just don't, unless you have the security of still being in the league. City win the title over Liverpool by 1 point. Now suddenly,
The second time that's happened, right? Or
Yep.
was the first time? 2
Second time.
points?
Second time.
Yeah.
Liverpudlians everywhere are now very, very concerned about Rodri handball that didn't get called at Goodison Park. Suddenly, they care about calls going our way.
Well, yeah, because it hands them the fucking lead. What I would say about that is it's a little bit of a shame, and we had a brief discussion about this on DUFC today on the closed group on Facebook, where I'm going to go to the table here. Liverpool had 92 points, obviously. Manchester City finished on 93. The drop-off down to Chelsea was an 18-point gap to Liverpool.
Yeah.
19 points, obviously, to Manchester City. Tottenham were 3 points behind Chelsea. Arsenal 2 points behind Tottenham. So if you go Arsenal to City in 5th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal to City is, if you can't figure it out, I'm trying to stall, 24 points.
Yeah, 24-point difference.
Separate 1st and 5th. 5th to 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say Manchester United have more money than we do.
Yeah.
We finished 11 points better than they did. And they finished with a dead even goal differential.
Mm-hmm. They're
guys
worse.
suck.
We'll get to them in a moment. But Mel and I both need to do shots, and I don't think either one of us really fucking care that we lost.
No, this is the shot for City's lose.
The City lost, yes.
Okay, then this one I don't mind doing because we gave Liverpool hope. And then we took that hope and went, rah, rah, rah. I love the memes, and of course this isn't real, but the blaming. Oh, look at Gerrard blowing 2 titles for Liverpool.
Yep, slipping.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
I mean, we weren't gonna beat City, but the fact that Liverpool thought for a moment we were is fucking awesome. So up the Villa, good season. I had a lot of fun. Cheers.
Cheers. And for mine, I would just like to say, Everton. Did we have a game on Sunday? Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Chelsea 1, Leicester 1, Chelsea 2, Watford 1, Leicester 4, Southampton 1. Hard to read when you just did a shot of my lord. Brighton 3, West Ham 1, and Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. Chelsea end up finishing in 3rd. They finally get some points here down the stretch and ward off what was a nice push from both Tottenham and Arsenal. But they held
after Thursday, I think they were guaranteed.
Yeah, they were guaranteed 3rd.
3rd, excuse me. Even that point just guaranteed them 3rd.
But this team held the league lead for quite a while. Would you say this was a disappointing season for Chelsea?
I would say no, because the only reason I say no, it's not disappointing, is because of what happened with Roman Abramovich. obviously, and the uncertainty surrounding the club in the first place. They obviously went on a pretty bad run, and then that happened. So you can't really say necessarily that it's a bad showing. They're directly in the group stage of the Champions League, which will secure some extra funding for the new owners and allow them to sign players and do stuff. But in another way, obviously, yes, it is bad because you look at the money they spent. You look at, again, I'm not prepared to call him a flop overall, but you look at the fairly piss-poor season Romelu Lukaku had.
Yeah.
And you got to think that could have and should have worked out differently.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it will next season. Score some goals towards the end of the year. Maybe Thomas Tuchel's figured out how to use him. Maybe he's figured out how to fit in a Thomas Tuchel system. Or maybe he fucks off to raise a few more funds to find somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I feel like there are bigger disappointments than Chelsea this season, but Chelsea was already nosediving out of it before the whole Abramovich stuff happened.
Correct, but that doesn't help you get back on track.
No.
You know what I mean? That doesn't help you fix things. That's part of the issue. I mean, it can't not be discussed as part of their problems.
I think it's safe to say the Foxes are the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde team this year.
Yes.
They somehow finish in 8th place, and you're just
big
like,
time.
huh?
Yeah.
Like some head-scratching losses and then just timely wins. I mean, honestly, the schedule really favored them there down the stretch, to get Watford, Norwich, and Southampton,
I mean, the
And
schedule
a-
favored them with Everton.
and a Chelsea match that didn't matter, you know. Yeah,
They just didn't realize
that they were running into the
the-
buzzsaw that was
the Everton supporters.
that were like,
Yeah.
no, well, you can. Oh, you're playing that? No, you're not playing those 11 guys. You're playing us today. Have fun
exactly,
with that. Yeah. How do you like not hearing your fans in your own stadium? How do you like that? Brighton get a top 10 finish.
Yeah. They're I do quickly want to say about Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't care either, obviously.
Oh no,
But
it was
James
over.
Ward-Prowse free kick, all's right with the world. It's fine. Might be the last one you see
I very much think that Ward-Prowse
for your club.
Yes, I think Ward-Prowse is definitely going to. I wouldn't be surprised if it was us that we end up overpaying for him, because that's the other thing too. Whoever
Something
gets
y'all
him
would do.
Well, whoever gets him is going to overpay for him. It's going to be $40 million, and
Yeah.
it's probably too much to pay for him. But what they will get is the best set piece taker in the Premier League, arguably the best set piece taker in the league's history.
He will be next season. He's
Yeah.
3 behind David Beckham for
Yeah.
set piece goals.
Exactly. And there's teams like Everton who could use a central midfielder. Who knows what West Ham's going to keep, if they're going to be able to hold on to Rice and Souček. They may need that. It could be Leicester. Do they hold on to Tielemans? They may need a guy like Ward-Prowse.
Exactly.
Ruben Neves, if he finally leaves Wolverhampton, there's another place that he could go.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I think it's a safe bet that Ward-Prowse will be taking set pieces for another club next season.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all.
Like I said, Brighton, top 10 finish, man.
Best in their history, I believe.
Trending up. They're trending up. They're doing
yeah.
everything right.
I think they should be able to hold on to most of their players this summer.
Yeah. I think you're going to lose Basuma.
I think you'll probably lose Yves Bissouma, but it looked like they had a few players coming through that actually could fill that role quite well, at least serviceably.
Yep.
And they could strengthen with that money in other areas of the pitch that would make them a bit more dangerous and a bit more consistent going forward.
And Buemu is the other midfielder, the one that they got from Club Bruges
Yes.
this offseason. Yeah,
Yep.
and he was
He
fabulous.
was awesome.
He was
Yeah,
absolutely
he was
fabulous.
very
He's-
good.
I
Scored
think
a
he's-
wonderful goal against us.
He slots right into the Yves Bissouma role, as Yves Bissouma probably ends up in a place like Arsenal. To be very
Could be.
I could very much see him being there, especially considering Arsenal and Brighton just did business with Ben White.
With Ben White, yep.
I could
So
definitely see
we'll
that
overpay
happening.
for Yves Bissouma, too.
Yeah,
Another
precisely.
$50 million right down there to the South Coast.
Irons still get to go to Europe. They're going to the McRib.
Yep.
But is it really the one they wanted?
Obviously not. But I think that because they went so far in the Europa League this season, and some of the memories that their fans made and the club made, and making the stadium feel like home, and, because it hasn't. I mean,
Right.
how was it last season? You had people running on the pitch, or 2 seasons ago, running on a pitch, jamming corner flags in the middle of ground.
Yeah.
You know, I think they'll still be happy with being in and amongst it in the conversation. There's obviously some disappointment surrounding that. Smokey says stated that online himself as one of our leading West Ham supporters, obviously. So I think there's an opportunity for them that they could build on. It's more last season, this season, now coming up. They have a chance to win this trophy, to be honest with you.
Yep.
This is
Smokey says that Lamptey is going to West Ham.
That'd be a great fucking pickup for them.
It'd be a great pickup for
The
them.
question I would wonder is, what does that mean for Vladimir Sufal? Because he's been a phenomenal right back.
I don't know. Or and then Cresswell's left
back.
Yeah, Sufal's
But
right back.
For Brighton, Lamptey's been playing wing back on that side. So maybe he goes further up the pitch
Yeah.
and plays in midfield.
They
That'd
could
be fucking dangerous.
They could potentially maybe go to a three in the back system with wing backs, because Cresswell could certainly play wing back, and I think Lamptey probably
has been.
That's what he is
and
a
so
wing
what?
back.
Sufal jumps in the middle with
Right.
the other with
Well, it gives
two
you
others.
it gives you a little bit more room to
It also
maneuver.
protects your razor thin fucking center backs.
yes, very true. So it does give them options. Before we get to finishing on the funny note, Palace, although not a top 10 finish, you got to say, much like their bitter rivals Brighton, they're trending in the right fucking direction.
Yeah, the last two times that they changed managers, they went on a bad run, and weren't really ready to do that. I guess you'd say. Roy Hodgson steadied that ship, but it was an aging squad, players he trusted, a system they trusted, and played for a fair few seasons.
Yeah,
Vieira comes in, was decent at Nice, was okay / mediocre, I guess you'd say, at NYCFC. Maybe he might lend towards good, and then say Nice might have been kind of mediocre. But you take the chance on Vieira, and England, the Premier League is just the league he gets, I guess.
yeah.
And he set them up, and they were willing to receive that information, probably because he lowered the average age of the squad by 48 years. But they end up putting in pretty good performances. They're going to need an out-and-out goal scorer.
They took the pressure off of Wilf to have to do it all, and Wilf had his best goal production ever in a season for Palace because he didn't have to do it all.
Well, I think part of it, he did a lot of it, though. But I think they had threats elsewhere where they didn't even have threats elsewhere before. And so 3 defenders would be crowding Wilf out of games. And if Jeffrey Schlupp didn't come from deep to score, Palace weren't scoring.
Right. Precisely.
Now you have Eze. He's a threat. You have to worry about him. So now you can't put 3 defenders on Wilf. You can only put 2. Well, Jordan Ayew kind of is hit or miss, but he's still a worry sometimes. So maybe we kind of cheat a little bit and cheat over to Wilf, but you can't be directly on him. So now Wilf's only got 1 defender to run at.
Yeah.
Well, I favor Wilf in that situation.
Yeah. He's a fabulous player.
But they're going to need a 20-goal scorer if they're going to make any moves up the table from where they currently finish.
I think
And if they don't have a 20 goals, you know what? I won't even go that far. If they don't have a 14 to 16 goal scorer, they're going to struggle to move forward in the table.
I think they have that player between Edouard and Mateta. Both of them, this was their first full season in the Prem.
Yeah, but where'd they go? I mean, Patrick Vieira ended up playing Benteke a lot.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But I think typically once you get through that first full season, you tend to come on. And I think that they will come on.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Man U finish with their worst points total ever and a goal differential of 0.
Worst Premier League points total ever, because they were relegated in the 70s.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Worst Premier League.
Just want to make
I think
sure
so.
everyone fucking remembers that.
you know,
we haven't been.
I was gonna say, you know who else hasn't been?
Well, y'all, but in a lot shorter of a time span than
Yeah,
us.
ours was the 50s.
You know what I will say that you are going into, though? Your 69th consecutive season.
Hey!
It's the summer of love.
Well, this summer we're all still going to be drunk. We don't need to worry about tailgating at the Baltimore Arsenal game. Everton supporters will still just be drunk. They'll just be drunk from staying up.
There you go. Perfect.
I think it's very easy to say this following statement, and this is coming from an Evertonian that barely survived, that celebrated coming in 16th place like you thought they won the fucking title. Manchester United was hands down number one with a bullet, the biggest disappointment of the Premier League this year.
100%.
Horrid.
Do you want to find out a little insight into how bad it is at Manchester United?
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago, another podcast that we listened to, the Dutch season finished, I believe, on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Another show reported, as well as 3 news outlets that I counted, that Erik ten Hag was going to be in attendance the second the season was over for Ajax and start to familiarize himself with the club. That included attending Sunday's game.
Ugh.
When asked about it, Ralph Rangnick said he didn't know he was there.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he's here? Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Apparently, they were supposed to have a meeting today as well. And yesterday he said he didn't know he was here. What does that say about how that fucking basket case of a club is run?
It's just not. It's not. That's just it. It's not run at all.
And that makes it really fucking funny. Because they're the biggest brand in the goddamn world.
It does make it very fucking funny.
I hope the new jacuzzi sponsor is really happy about it.
Sure money.
I'm going to let you go ahead and intro this one. And I'm going to just kick back and relax since I'm the motherfucking winner.
Did you hit your parlay, though?
8 out of 10. Very close.
I was 6 out of 7.
Well, let's see real quick.
Smokey, next time I'm going to make a 7-game parlay. How about you tell me after the fact that West Ham never wins at Brighton, and I would have fucking picked Brighton, and I would have hit it.
It sucks to be you.
Oh, my God.
So you actually, with 6 out of 7, finished at 85% of your parlay that didn't hit, by the way.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't count. You still lose $100.
Right, and you were 80.
And I was at 80%. So, well, you have that to hang your hat on. That's a really Newcastle stat, I feel like.
It really is. I finished the season $795 down.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
21.95122% of the time, Mr. Graham. It worked 100% of the time.
That's 1 in 5. It's not terrible.
For the Dortspire Cup of Losers, fucking West Ham, fuck off you Irons. That's what I wrote right there. So, and
Oh my gosh.
and I will graciously, Mr. Graham, do my 4 shots of Malort to you next week's show when we do our season review, and you get to plan my fate, good man.
Yes, I do get to plan your fate. And before we bring Mr. Pat on board, which we will momentarily, I'm going to just close out my thing because I want to talk to one specific person.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ray, who's been giving me a ton of slack all season about how bad my betting is. And I'm the only motherfucker that finished in the positive. So here's my couple losers. Fuck you, Ray.
I don't think that's true.
What?
That you're the only motherfucker that finished in the positive.
Did Pat finish positive?
We got the chicken.
Oh. Yeah, but she don't actually bet money. She bets feathers.
Chicken did better than you.
Now we've got Pat.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Talk about hitting a post. What's up, buddy?
Well done.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up with you?
Nothing. Getting ready to I don't know.
So, do you want to quickly walk us through the unenthusiastic hand job that was your bet last week?
Well, what do you want to know? So I won 4 out of 14.
Okay, so what are the 4 you won at least?
I won Everton over Crystal. I hit
We talked about this last week. You would call them Palace, not Crystal. Crystal's a hot sauce.
All right, that's what I thought I've written down. Palace. My bad. All right.
And meth.
So I hit Watford plus 2.5 against Chelsea.
Okay.
I hit the over in the Liverpool-Wolverhampton game.
Okay.
I hit Aston plus 2.5 against Manchester
we had a conversation.
City.
Villa.
We had a conversation about this 12 seconds ago.
Oh, God damn it. Villa. All right. Damn it. And that's it.
That's it.
Everything else I lost.
So how much you lose?
$590.
And that finishes you where?
At $590.
Oh, that's the whole total down. I got you. Sorry.
Yeah. Because I was even after last week. I mean, if you put it together, though, I think in the 1 month time, I lost something like $2,500.
Jesus, from being up.
So on
Yeah,
average,
I was up 17. I was up 17, almost 18. Yeah.
on
like a month
average,
ago.
I basically beat you both by $700.
Yes.
Why? What did Sam come in?
I ended up being 795 down.
Houston shits the bed.
Yes, he does.
I want to just pull this couple losers donation back out so I can show it to the camera again.
Fuck you, Ray.
What did you end up with? Hey, how much? Where are you up?
Oh, plus 147
Oh man, Ooh,
over 38 games.
that's a tank of gas right there, bud.
but
Two in my car. Be fair, it pays for a whole week's worth.
But here's what really matters, Pat, is that if I recall correctly, you should probably be requesting that it be ironed and stiff, because Spurs kicked the shit out of Arsenal, and you owe
I do owe him one whole crisp American
Mr.
dollar.
Pat one crisp American dollar.
So let me rephrase. I finished up $146, which is fine. Plus, I guess you'd say, what, 11 cents to iron it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dollar's the only thing that matters, right, Pat?
No, yeah, that's all that matters in my world.
So, wow. It only took us 38 weeks.
How's it going in your world?
That's what's going on in your world.
Yeah, that's what's going on in your world.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you guys got? What are you guys going on with during the summer?
Well, we're gonna do our wrap up show next week, and then we're gonna take June off. July, we're gonna do a show from the Arsenal Everton match at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and then we also have our Ted Lasso show that'll come out in June as well. Right,
Yep.
now?
That'll come out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got going on in our world.
Oh, okay. Well, I just got nothing but work this summer. That's it.
I don't even want to say anything. Just do it because it sucks so bad.
What, just hang up on him?
Yeah, just get rid of him.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Even Pat's like, yeah, just
fuck it. I got nothing else to say.
I just gotta work all summer because my life sucks. Like, very good. You know what? It's fitting. It's fitting that we are, as always,
Groveling at my feet.
saved by a chicken, because that's the only thing that makes this segment any good.
Well, Kitty finished at 18 and 14, and we are currently working on the construction needs because she's having a second house built. Apparently, when she comes back from vacation, she'll be coming back with a few friends and has sent over plans for construction of a second chicken palace.
Do you know why she has got a second house being built? The girl picks winners.
Yeah.
I was going to make a Rebecca Vardy court joke. Some sort of settlement, but I'll leave it be.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what that chicken's got planned? But Kitty's got a big summer up ahead, and we'll check in with her again in the fall. But there is one more note that Kitty wanted me to remind you all of, and that is to please gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh no!
Oh, my phone just fucked up because Pat texted me. That's brilliant. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. The whole thing screwed up.
I can tell everybody Huddersfield won over Luton Town, and Nottingham Forest won over God, who did they beat? Luton. No, yeah, they beat no.
Huddersfield beat Luton.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nottingham Forest beat someone else we don't want to be there. Sheffield United.
Yeah, Sheffield United.
Yeah, so now we've got Huddersfield, Nottingham Forest on,
which is also another pitch invasion we're going to have to talk about in the next show.
I'm sure we are. On Sunday, the 29th of May at 11:30 a.m. on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm. We'll be will be the final for the championship.
Yes, it is. So
See the last team that comes up.
Get excited for this coming Sunday because it's the most expensive game in all of sports.
And we will be previewing it on Injury Time.
Yes, we will.
Excellent. Well, that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
Yeah, just a really brief pitch invasions suck. Hear more about it in an upcoming episode.
Yeah. It's you wanna celebrate the amazing scene, but then you hear about the bullshit that went on around it.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of thinking about it this weekend, and it's gonna I'm hoping that this is a very interesting conversation that we have, because there's a lot of thoughts.
I'll tell you right now, number one pitch invasion of all time, positive, what just happened in Bulgaria, because it's fucking hysterical.
Cool. Well, that's going to be the good news. In
second best pitch invasion of all time, when West Brom made the Great Escape after being 20th at Christmas, first team to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but joyous scenes. Everything else since then has been shite.
Yeah. I mean, it was very cool to see everything that was happening at Everton, but then you hear about the incidents that went on around it, and it completely dampers everything.
Correct.
Completely dampers everything. Yes, producer Mel.
I have a shot of Malort sitting here in front of me, and I'm confused.
That's because you weren't here last week. I was producing the show, and you lost to Liverpool.
So,
Yeah,
that
do it.
wasn't any fun. This one's not a good shot. But anyone watching on the live stream, stick around, because we'll be right back with the other show.
Yeah, very good.
Up the whatever fuck.
Whatever.
Up the fuck.
Up the whatever fuck. There we go.
Oof. She's doing my oof now.
That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Next up is going to be our special little show about pitch invasions. And then after that, we will be doing Injury Time, which is where we recap the beers that we've been drinking. We talk a little bit about our adopted clubs and how that is all finished up. And then we're going to preview the final 3 pretty big games that are going on in for battle for the McRib Cup, for the Champions League, and of course the most expensive game in sports, the championship promotion.
Yep.
Sam, should somebody want to find Injury Time, how do they go about doing that?
It's quite easy, actually. Patreon.com/DU Football Show. Sign up to the one simple, easy $5 tier. You get both of the extra shows, Sound Check, which is us actually sound checking ourselves and talking about our weekends and just any other bullshit that comes up. Funny stories in our personal lives and the other. And then Injury Time, as Sam's already explained. So pretty cool stuff.
Excellent. Also, be sure to check out the Drip Shack. You can find that on all of our social media feeds.
Yep.
Obviously, Sam there with the Pro Arsenal Agenda shirt.
Come on.
Myself with the DU Football Show, Booze, Banter, and the Prem. We have fun things like I keep messing it up because I've got to remember it's in reverse, by hashtag Bants Pillow. I do that all the time.
I've got a hashtag Bants tank top.
Yes, straight out of sleeves.
Straight out of sleeves, baby.
Straight out of sleeves.
Also, if you know how to use it, find the Discord.
Yes. There's the brand new Discord.
Mel's since she has the privileges, gonna pin it to the top of the closed group.
Excellent. All right. Next week, everybody, is going to be our wrap-up show for the season, where we tell you our predictions that we typically get very wrong. Normally, it's a rousing 2-1 victory for one of us, because in the 30 categories we pick, we get 2 and 1 right correctly. Last year was 4-4.
I think it's 25, and we tied 4-4.
4-4.
And did I win the first season like literally 3-2 or something?
I won the first one 2-1. You won the second one 2-0.
Yeah.
So you are currently up on aggregate.
So you can see how much we actually know about the
which is fuck all. Till next week, everybody. Good night.
Inside joke, sorry.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!